So okay, how many Links have been in Smash? Smash 64, we got Link from Ocarina of Time. Then we got Child Link, or Young Link, in Melee, which was, for all intents and purposes, a clone of Link, but also him when he's 7 years younger, dude. Isn't that weird? Then in Brawl, we got Toon Link from Wind Waker, a game that, after its initial skepticism, was a game that people covet as their favorite Zelda.
Wind Waker was a game that many people liked for its colorfulness, but mostly the vastness of the Little Mac, I found it!
And those really are the 3 Links of Smash. However, in my last video, I mentioned, and maybe even a 4th one. So who's this Link? Where's he hiding? Well, he's often overlooked because many think the Link of Smash has always been the same. However, it's none other than the Link we have in Brawl and Smash 4, Twilight Princess Link. So since we're talking about so many Links today, I thought it'd be fun to make it a bit of a challenge, a battle of the Links, as it were. If we were to look at all of the Links and all the moves they have, which one of them represents the Zelda series and all of the Links the best? Which one of them is the Linkest Link?
It's Sonic Speed!
So why does it matter that we have 4 Links in Smash? They're all basically the same anyways, right? See, if you know me, I always get butthurt about clones or characters that are just totally uninspired rehashes of the same asshole.
Nice try.
However, Link having multiple character slots somehow feels justified. I think the only reason for that is the nature of his series. The Zelda series does something I really admire, as it's a timeline that spans thousands of years, following heroes who don the green tunic and the Triforce of Courage most of the time. This makes it so any sequel can be completely unique and, for the most part, not have to follow any conventions of setting, plot, characters, heck, reuse some characters and people will love it! It's pretty impressive that in the Zelda series, none of the details over thousands of years have been wrong, and you'd think that would happen with such a loose legend with all these details spanning from different timelines and times. You'd think, like, in our history, how the winner of the war writes the history books? Has Ganon ever thought about doing that, just messing with history?
The legends write of a hero wearing a brown tank top to stop the evil Ganondorf.
I'll take care of you.
Anyways, it's clear that having so many versions of Link in Smash Bros. Is symbolic of how the Zelda series does a similar thing. Having more than one Link in Smash almost seems natural at this point. Maybe one day we could see as many as 3. But anyways, each Smash Bros. Link comes out of the oven looking a bit more different and a bit more cooked than the last. As such, some things have changed over time, so we're finally going to be taking a closer look at what those things are. And so we don't get confused on which Link is which, I'm going to be referring to them as follows: Ocarina of Time Link, Young Link, Toon Link, and Twilight Princess Link. Overall, the Link's design philosophy is pretty logical. Give him moves that utilize iconic Zelda items and have them function similarly to how they appeared in the series. Of course, this can't always be exact, but generally the Links utilize many of their most iconic items. The Master Sword and Hylian Shield, the bow and arrow, the boomerang, the hook shot, and bombs. Each of them has them all, except for a few outliers. Young Link instead holds the Dooku Shield and Kokiri Sword, and Twilight Princess Link swaps out the hookshot in Brawl with the improved Claw Shot, allowing him to tether recover, which actually fits the item's intended purpose, so good job! Now that that's out of the way, let's get into the generic swings of Link's sword, his shield, and signature movements he's taken from the Zelda series. It should be noted, as the legend goes, that Link holds the Master Sword with his left hand. Unless you mirror the entire game because of a stupid video game peripheral. I mean, that's the funniest workaround I've ever heard. Anyways, his jab attack is the finishing blow he does in front of Ganon at the end of the Law's Oot. It's a mix of the 3 sword swings he utilizes in the 3D Zeldas: his jab, horizontal slice, and vertical slice. Speaking of, many of these swings make it into his other normals. such as his vertical slice being his forward tilt. The Link's up special is the iconic spin attack. The main differences with the move between Zelda and Smash are that in Zelda, it did not let you spin around as much, even with a magic charge. Also, you didn't fly upwards with it, but hey, Link needed some sort of recovery move, so make him a helicopter, why not? It wasn't until Brawl where the Links could charge the attack, like in the games. It even sparkles when it's being charged and leaves a color trail around it, like it does in the Zelda games. Then there's Toon Link's. His trail actually matches the cool cutting effect that Wind Waker had. And unlike the other Links, in Wind Waker you can upgrade your spin to the Hurricane Spin, making it so you can spin multiple times, like his recovery. And while I'm talking about it, Toon Link has a custom where he can move across the ground similarly to how he does here. God damn it, these technicalities, spin attacks, let me tell ya, they'll make you dizzy. But let's go on to their forward smashes. You'd think that such an iconic move of Smash, your main Smash attack, would be something that's from the games, but it's completely made up. Smash 64's forward smash is an overhead swipe, similar to that of a jump strike. It especially reminds me of how Link wields the Bigoron sword with two hands. It would make sense if it references that, as Smash attacks are strong and the Bigoron sword is your strongest weapon in Ocarina of Time. The other forward smashes are just two horizontal swipes, which don't reference anything. Perhaps, and this is just a theory, that the optional second slice references attack prompts in the Zelda games when you're locked on, but that's the best I can think of. And don't worry everyone from 2006, I didn't forget that his down air and up air hail from Zelda 2. Don't worry, I remember. The up air changed between both of the Links in Smash 4 to an upward stab instead of just holding it there. They probably realized that, down air makes sense as like a long-lasting sex kick because, you're falling and gravity's gonna give it force downwards, but upwards? It's just a limp noodle. You'd have to stab it upwards for it to have any sort of damage-dealing effect. But what many don't mention about the down air is, just like in Zelda 2, you can hop off the punctured skulls of your foes, just like Scrooge McDuck. Down tilt is a bit of a missed opportunity with all the Links, as it's prime for this shield jab from Ocarina of Time. However, Twilight Princess Link in Smash 4 does do it as his ledge getup, so I'm glad they included it somewhere. Also, only in Smash 4 did they give Link his jump strike as his dash attack, and Toon Link still has this weak-ass swipe for some reason. Just like the jump attack from the Zelda games, it is a strong move, but boy does it have a lot of lag afterwards. It's gonna leave you open if you miss. But now let's take a look at Link's other staple item, the Hylian Shield. A thingy that doesn't break when you enter the Fire Dungeon. This thing is a symbol of the series and is very important to the combat of the 3D Zeldas. In Smash though, it's pretty underutilized. If you look through his bubble shield, he does use it, but he's only really using the bubble shield, and what even is this bubble shield, really? Is it bubblegum? It can be used for blocking tiny projectiles when Link's standing in place, which has seen better functionality in Smash 4, but the shield is really only there for looks. They're gonna come at you, you're gonna get hit. Really wish it would deflect projectiles like it does in the games, that would have been pretty cool. So that's it for their sword and shield related moves, but trust me, there are so many more things that relate to things they do in the Zelda games. For one of the most iconic moves of the 3D Zeldas, the roll, which was utilized in their dodge animation in Smash. But in Smash 4, finally, the backflip animation when you Z-target and press backwards into A is utilized in his back roll in Smash, so I'm glad they included it. What are you doing? Then there's a lot to be said about each of their idle animations. Adult Link doesn't do anything special until Smash 4, where he does this, which I think references his pose when he Z-targets in the Zelda games. Young Link's idle animation is taken from Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask, where he looks around and brushes off his foot. Also, he stands around like he's on caffeine, look at him go, jeez! Toon Link took the looking around and foot tapping from his games too. In Wind Waker, Link would look around the room if there was anything of interest and was very expressive throughout the whole game. In the re-release on Wii U, they even added a selfie mode on the Picto Box that let players do whatever silly faces they wanted. Maybe this inspired the buff to his facial expressions from Brawl to Smash 4. And dude, this isn't even half of it. Not even talking about the items. There's entrance animations, victory animations, taunts. Hold on, I need a moment to cry. We're gonna be going through all of these things that the Links have in Smash. We're gonna be brief, rapid fire through every single Smash, and I'm gonna get through it all. Cause I love you! That's why! That is the Alax touch! That's the seal of quality, baby! Let's start with victory screens. Smash 64 and Melee's victory theme references the main Legend of Zelda overworld theme and the item get jingle. now it's the music that played in the original Legend of Zelda when you obtained a piece of the Triforce. As for the animations, his sword up in the air has been a staple motion since he got the sword in the original Zelda. Young Link uses an animation that's from Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask, like his idle animation. Toon Link has to catch a pig for a side quest in Wind Waker. This takes up 2 of his victory animations, with one where he catches it and the other where he eats shit. Link's Smash 64 taunt seen in Brawl and Smash 4 seems to be based off of nothing specific, while this one is from Twilight Princess where it's done on multiple occasions, but mostly when learning new sword skills. Both Twilight Princess and Toon Link have a fairy taunt, with each reflecting how the fairies looked in their games. Young Link drinks a lot of milk. I swear that's like 3 drinks worth of milk. Dude, like you could have saved that for a dungeon, I don't know what you're doing. This is of course the Lon Lon milk from Ocarina of Time. In Smash 64, Link enters the battle like how he leaves dungeons in Ocarina of Time. But Brawl and Smash 4 have him enter using this wind? Originally, I thought it was from the Gale Boomerang, but upon closer inspection, it's actually the recorder from the original Zelda, where Link can teleport and reappear using a tornado. You may have saw it in Mario 3, but it's essentially the same thing. Then there's Toon Links, which is basically nothing other than an excuse to show off these smoke effects from Wind Waker. Finally, the sounds the Links make correlate to the noises they uttered in their games, from hanging from ledges, falling and dying and doing a spin attack. See how many of them you can notice yourself when you play, because I am not going through every single one of them! Alright, that was a lot of information rapid fire at us, so you know what? We're gonna take a little ad intermission. Never done these before, but I'm gonna try it out. And after the break, we're gonna go into the rest of the stuff the Links have. So, I mean, grab some more popcorn, refill on salsa, do whatever you want. So, we got through most of Link's moves, but the ones that remain have to do with one of the key appeals of the series: the items. First, the boomerang. All the Links utilize it in their games except for Ocarina of Time Link, sort of, because only Child Link can utilize it in games, so having it in Smash, it's a bit of a silly inclusion, though if Link didn't have a boomerang, I guess it wouldn't be right, so totally fine, just a bit of trivia.
See, I don't understand boomerangs. Boomerangs don't actually work. Like,
Each of the boomerangs the Links have work a bit differently. The one trait they all have is that if they hit on the way to an opponent, they'll return instantly, but on the return trip, they'll go right through. God damn technicalities, jeez. Ocarina of Time and Young Links differ based on angle, as Young Links can be thrown at pretty unrealistic starting angles, allowing him to combo with it a lot more effectively. Toon Links, on the other hand, flies at sharper angles during its flight. You'll also notice that it's much floatier and rotates slower than the others. Twilight Princess Link utilizes the most unique of the bunch, the Gale Boomerang. Where this one differs is that it pushes or pulls away opponents while also doing damage, so it's not a bad upgrade. The Gale Boomerang actually derived this ability from in-game, but there you couldn't pull in enemies, only really items. Then, there are the bombs. Similar to the boomerang, the style of the bombs change through all the smashes depending on the Link using it. However, the bombs function pretty similarly for each Link. In Zelda, as well as in Smash, the bombs begin setting a fuse as soon as you pull them out. And they're usually one of Link's most versatile weapons. Break a wall, break a rock, break up with your girlfriend, the thing works wonders. The main difference in Smash is that the bombs are a lot smaller and they don't need to be held over the heads of the Links. I guess it's because they didn't want to make another item holding animation for them, so instead they just palm the bomb like those cool basketball players. Next up, the bow. Added as Link's new neutral special in Melee onwards, the bow lets you charge an arrow and shoot it at varying distances.
so similar to real arrows, as you fire it, it drops off, and this is the same with the Links in Smash Brothers. You like that? You like that real outdoor RelaxAlax content with the real props? I got it! Who else has it?
Between the two adult Links, the bow functions pretty much the same, but the way it looks reflects how it did in their games. But young Link, oh boy, this is a headache. Ocarina of Time, he can't use the bow. Majora's Mask, he can! But in Smash, it's actually the bow from Ocarina of Time. and he uses fire arrows from Majora's Mask. You know what? I'm not making a long-winded theory about this. I don't care. He should have had the slingshot to begin with, but no, I'm not talking about it. I'm done. Oh yeah, and then there's Toon Link. Just like how his boomerang is floaty, so are his arrows. They fly through the air very slowly, and even uncharged, they go really far. It actually did derive this ability from Wind Waker, as when it's flying, it hardly drops off. Hanzo, you should get on that, man. And that's not it for the items, because there's one more that I know has made me rage in both Zelda and Smash. The hook shot and claw shot. Man, you ever just try aiming this thing and you hit the wrong thing? No, I wanted to aim for the... Why would I aim for the wall? What? Well, in Smash, it's kind of the same. As far as grabs go, it can be problematic with its speed and awkward grab distance. But functionally, it's kind of cool that they included it as his grab, because you can do this in later Zeldas and even some boss fights in Ocarina of Time. And as mentioned, the hookshot in Melee was changed from grappling to walls to only the edge with a tether grab. Though, Smash 4's is leagues better than Brawl, but we're not getting on that topic again, Olimar.
I think that's it. I think that is all of the stuff for the links.
Well, I think it's clear that each of the links of Smash Brothers are represented quite similarly to their home games, from their head right to their down unders. Like, Toon Link has sword swings as his aerials while regular Link doesn't. Twilight Princess Link has chainmail under his tunic. Young Link moves super quick all the time, and Adult Link is slower but more powerful. Toon Link is floaty and more angular because his game is whimsical and cartoony. And Twilight Princess Link has realistic sound effects and physics, all because his game is edgy as fuck. However, one question still stands. Which Link represents Zelda the best? Which Link is the Linkest Link? Drumroll, please. Whatever. It's Twilight Princess Link. And trust me, it wasn't easy to narrow this one down. It came really close between him and Toon Link. But I feel like beyond anything, this Link represents the hero time better than any of them. Even in Smash 4, his model doesn't look quite like Twilight Princess or Skyward Sword or like anything. It looks like an original Link that's meant to be an icon of the series. And the additions in Smash 4, such as his ledge getup, his dash attack, and back roll, as well as his arsenal being pretty standard, he's the Link. He is the Linkest Link. And I'm not bashing the other Links either. Ocarina of Time Link did a pretty good job, but this Link does everything he does, just better. Young Link at the end of the day was a late development clone, which could explain the inconsistencies between him and his original counterpart. And as I said, I think Toon Link represents Wind Waker so amazingly. Like his eyes, his effects, his sound effects, everything represents what Wind Waker was about. All of it isn't serious and gritty, it's all fun and whimsical and goofy. But if I were going to look at him and say that he represents the Zelda series as a whole, I'd have to say he falls short on the fact that he represents his games well, but the others not so much. In closing, there's a lot more I wish I could say about the Links. In terms of their design and how they fight, I'd say it's pretty accurate. Link's better from afar. He's good at using his items when he needs them and working his way to his opponent. I always like to use the Ganon boss fight because it kind of shapes this. You need to use an item in order to weaken him and then get close to him, and that is similar in Smash. In order to get the physical attacks out, usually you're going to be using a boomerang, an arrow, or even a bomb to get your opponents up into the air. But that is all I can say for Link. And I do believe that in Smash 4, Toon Link and Link are some of the best depictions of Link Smash has given us. They're not specific, but you could turn to any Link in the Hyrule Historia and they would represent them. Except this guy, he has pink hair. So that's going to be it for our Super Link extravaganza. I know it was really long, so I want to thank you for sticking with me through the tedious explanations. I hope I kept it entertaining, as, you know, Zelda's one of my favorite series. I wanted to do it justice when I started making these videos, so I hope that I entertained you and did them well enough. That's going to be it for our Zelda month, even though it's not November, but next time we're going to be taking it a little easier. We're going to not be doing such long videos. They're starting to take a toll on me. Well, neither are you. Anyways, this has been Alax. Take it easy, everyone. Thank you for watching, and I will see you on the flat side. Alright, before I begin any more dumb ramblings, thank you to YerkDiff for making the thumbnail art. It is groovy as all hell. Y'all look at that. It is nice. Like, I knew because he did fan art of me, and I needed a fan art or a fan. Or just I wanted a custom thumbnail, and I didn't know who else to call. So thank you, man. It's great. Other than that, thank you for watching this super link. It's stupid gravaganza. I'm up late, dude, and I think I cut this to the curb, or I cut it very close, like a very bad haircut. Like, this is like a very bad quick haircut, but it was done. It's done at the end of the day. I mean, it's not a bad haircut because it came out pretty good. I mean, maybe I'll see all the. There's not even many mistakes to point out. I'm tired. Just gonna throw that one out there right now. If you like this video and you're still here listening to my ramblings, like the frickin' video. And if you're not subscribed, I don't know what you're doing here. You better subscribe, because this is all I'm about. If you like it, then you sure as heck should continue watching. We're already past 20. We're at 21 minutes almost. It doesn't matter if I'm rambling. I could ramble on for more. It doesn't matter. No one cares. Who cares? Whatever. Few hints in this video if you care to look for them. I guess I made them a little obvious. Oftentimes I don't make them obvious at all, because, you know, none of you ever find the clues to the next Know Your Moves, ever. Like, yo, it's bad. Like, no one ever realizes the clues. I say one thing, but then you don't even notice like one frame of the video where it's just hidden there. Anyways, I'll leave you with that. Thank you guys. Have yourselves a good evening or morning, wherever part of the world you live in. And I'll see you on the flip side. I said that already, but fuck, who cares?